Might help if I turn the audio on. What's up, guys? Welcome back to RealReefingTV, where I help you save time, money, and frustration in the real reefing hobby, sharing my experiences and knowledge. And today we're going to be talking about this Luxbird. And today we're going to be talking about this Luxbird reef light that I have right here behind me. It's a 2-channel light, however, it only has one power cord coming out of it. It is adjustable and dimmable, but not programmable. But it's an affordable solution for those looking to light their reef. I want to talk to you a little bit about it, some of the modifications that I made in this video to this light, where we break it open, take a look at what's inside, and change it up a little bit to suit my needs. Now right here behind me, I have the Luxbird light. It's eye bolted into the side of my canopy here, and the power cord runs to the back. I actually should tuck it down there so it looks a little bit cleaner. I like that a lot better. And then right here, you guys, I don't even know if you've seen this yet. This is something that this is a project that I've done recently, and I haven't really even debuted it, but I added a frag tank to the side of the 300. It's pretty dope, I know. And it's something that took me a little while. I went to Petco, picked up a $1 per gallon tank. This is a 20-gallon long, so it is 12 inches from front to back and 30 inches wide. My display tank is 36 inches wide, so it looks pretty good. It looks pretty proportionate, and it is plumbed into the actual main display sump. So that's also awesome. In this frag tank, I have the Max Spec Gyre 1K that I threw down in there for some flow. Now let's get back to the light. So the light that I have on here is the Luxbird Reef light. It's an affordable solution for those looking to light their reef, and I wanted to also test it against the lights, the Radions, and the AI Vegas that I have in my display tank. So far with the performance, I've not been as impressed. Now, it's a very strong light, don't get me wrong, and I think that's part of the problem. I'm having trouble finding a nice balance where the light is evenly spread and it gives a nice healthy light to your corals. We made some changes, and I think that my arm is getting tired. I made some changes, and I think that's gonna change everything for this light. So let's get into those changes right now. So basically the plan is, and this has already been done, because when I film, I typically do something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should be filming this. But the plan is to take all of the lenses off of this light. Because it's so spotlighty, I found that basically on this frag tank, I was only getting light from here to about here. And it's basically right underneath the light. And I have this light super high up off the tank. It's like 2 foot off the water line. Most people aren't even gonna be able to do that. Luckily, on my main display, I'm able to run the lights super high because of the way that I made my canopy. But on this, I'm also able to run it high. And I like that because you get this really great spread. Most of these lights are so strong that you can just crank them up a little bit, set them up a little bit higher, and you get a better spread, a better distribution of light, and a better blending of the actual light diodes themselves. So anyways, let's show you what that looks like, what this light looks like inside, and we'll get it taken apart, we'll get those lenses off of there, and we'll show you the finished product, which also looks like this, because I forget to film ahead of time. Sorry guys, but it's whatever, let's do this. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. There's new videos coming out all the time, especially on my own tanks, and most recently I've been doing some videos on other people's tanks as well. So it's a great opportunity to learn and grow in the hobby. I've taken out the 6 screws. There's so it's already coming apart here. There are 2 on that side, 2 on that side, and 1 on each end, and then it comes apart like so. Let me show you. So it comes apart just like this, and here you can kind of get a good look inside of the light. So here we've got a couple of fans. They do run. I mean, you can hear them. Not gonna lie, they're not the quietest. And then you have the power supply, which, if I'm being honest, is definitely more robust than a lot of the ones that I've seen in black box LEDs. And then I believe this is like the dimmer and stuff like that. So here you have a couple of switches. These are for the 2 channels. So you can go ahead and disconnect these if you're trying to do what I do. You would disconnect each one of these, and then this one is hooked directly into the power supply. Don't worry, this thing's not plugged in at all. So we're good to tinker around with it. Now, what I'll do is take this off here, because what I need to do ultimately is I need to get this heat sink off of here so that I can actually get the lights, and I'm gonna pop those lenses right off. This light is pretty powerful, so it's not really like that big of a deal to pull the lenses off and get a wider spread. So I'm just gonna kind of modify it just a little bit. Make it work for us, right? So remember, it's still attached to the one side, no big deal though. So there's the light housing on the front. It does have, that is a glass panel, which I do like that because acrylic can discolor and warp and things like that. So I like the glass. I also like that they kind of siliconed around it, and then it's held in place with these tabs. So that's actually really, I like that a lot. Set that aside. Now here is the light board. The heat sink is not like the nicest heat sink, as you can tell. It's got like just a flat back. It's not ribbed. It's not finned at all or anything like that. So it's not going to be the most efficient at separating the heat off of the diodes. If you check here, basically all these are they're just loosely on there. That's it. And they pop right off. So we're just gonna do that to each one of these. Just gonna wiggle it a little bit, and boom, pulls right off there. This is going to allow for a much wider spread of light. It's also going to allow the light to blend better. With all of the blues and whites and red and green, violet, all of those things, they're gonna blend a lot better by not having these very focused lenses. So. And let's be honest, this is a cheaper light option. What you see in those is that the diode is just a very small and it's mostly exposed. Whereas these have a little dome over them, actually a little lens already on the light. That tells me that they're more protected. It's a higher quality LED than your standard Chinese black box unit. All right, there we go. Done? Let's get this thing put back together, get it back on the tank, and see what that light spread looks like now that we've modified it. So there's the finished product. No more lenses on the LEDs. We still have the knobs. Okay, we still have the switch. I wish that it had 2 plugs. One plug is really nice because it saves some space, but it would be really nice to be able to separate those channels, the blue from the white channel, and be able to set those up on 2 different timers, or plug them into your Apex and have those set up on 2 different timers if you're going to try to run something like this. I think that would be ideal, although I do love the one. If you're only going to have one channel in here, I feel like you should have some sort of built-in timer into the light itself. But to save money, this is what you get. So by all means, the light is super powerful. I'm gonna try to get some tests done on it here pretty soon with some par readings and from how far out and stuff like that, what the spread is. And now that we've got an increased spread here, let's get it back up on the tank and see what we got. All right, here comes the test. Oh, that is much better. Look at that. Oh, this is so much better. Let me tell you guys, I didn't have any light in this corner over here, and I didn't have any light in this entire section over here. And it doesn't look as spotlighty. I'm telling you guys, the intensity on the rack itself is much more evenly spread. I think I'm gonna get a lot better results from the light like this without those lenses on it than I had before. I think this is gonna work out so much better. I'll show you guys the light without the, so you can hardly even, there we go. Now you can see all the lights without the lenses on them. All right guys, so that shows you guys, listen, it can be done. You can modify lights, you can change things up. Don't settle for what's given to you in the box. You know what, if you want to go out and buy one of these lights and make it work for you, I think you can absolutely do it. You just have to spend a little bit of time, you know, making it what you need. If you need it to be spotlighty, you can have that. If you need it to be more spread out like this and even get a 30-inch spread on it, you can do that. And this thing can be really, really cranked up. Be cranked down, all the way up on the white, all the way up on the blues, and it looks great. So we'll get some par readings from this, but I think this Luxbird light is pretty good for the money. I think it's about 120 bucks, something along those lines. I'll throw a link in the description below so you guys can find that light. If you're interested in adding it to your system, you can do a little bit more research and see all the specifications on this particular light. But it should run, should get you at least 24 inches of spread. I think it's a little bit less if you're gonna run the lenses on it. If you want to pop those lenses off, I think you can get up to 30. This is a 30-inch tank, so I think you can get it up to that. And I know that black box LED lights can grow coral. Will it last as long? Is it as controllable as, you know, a Radion or anything like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you have to pay for that. That's not something that was really interesting to you or important to you. You don't need that. You know, you can hook this thing up to a timer, just like I have it hooked up to. Well, I just have it hooked into my Apex, but same difference, right? So anyways, if you guys want to find that, you can see that in the link or in the description below. Make sure that you hit that button to subscribe to the channel, and you can check out other videos right over here. I'll see you guys next time. Later.